All right, guys, go ahead.
Can you share injury updates on Carr, Thomas, and Lattimore after they had checkups today, if they've had them?
Um, yeah, look, Derek is in the concussion protocol. Look, the right shoulder's fine. That checked out fine today, so that's all good. Obviously, he's in the concussion protocol. Both you know Mike Thomas and Marshawn Lattimore both had um, fairly significant injuries. You know, I'm not going to get into the exact extent, but they'll both be rehabbing throughout the week here.
And DA, just to clarify, when you say fairly significant injuries, is there the
I
potential
don't
for?
I don't see anything as being season injury ending or anything like that. But we're still going through kind of some second opinions and things of that nature. So without really having all that, I really don't want to get into timelines and things like that.
Understood. Thank you. Um, Last night we had kind of asked some questions about the kind of slow start and what led to that. Have you been able to kind of get a little bit of a better understanding of that after being able to review the tape?
Yeah, look, I think defensively, I just don't think we executed like we need to in the first half of the game, and that's been a little bit of a trend for us. So we got to figure out how to get that fixed. So that'll be a lot of what we'll be working on this week and figuring out how we can and how I can get our defensive players to perform better early on in games. And unfortunately, look, we had an opportunity really on the first drive of the game. We had a potential interception opportunity, which ended up being an explosive play, and so that's really kind of been the thing that's hurt us defensively. Is we've given up way too many explosive plays in the first half, and that's gotta be better. And so we're gonna look at a lot of things in terms of how we can fix that. Offensively, I just don't think were ever really able to get into a rhythm. I think we had like 22 offensive plays in the first half. It's kind of hard to get into a rhythm that way. So, they had some, long extended drives in the first half where our offense is sitting on the sideline, and then we weren't able to really, match that offensively. And so we played a lot of snaps defensively in the first half, and we didn't play enough offensively. I thought we hurt ourselves a couple of times. Some missed opportunities. Offensively, I think the holding call down there was a big call, which knocked us. We're going to be first and 10 on the 11-yard line. Instead, we're first and 20. We end up having to settle for a field goal. There was a couple of missed opportunities in the passing game where I thought we had a chance for some plays. A couple of opportunities in the screen game where I felt like we had some big play opportunities that we didn't take advantage of.
What would your evaluation be of the offensive line in this game? I think we'd seen some things kind of trending in the right direction the couple weeks before that. From what you had described before, did you see that continue this game, or did you see something
Yeah,
different?
look, there was obviously some good things, and yet there were some things that we have to be better at. Um, I thought we were able to run the ball effectively, particularly early in the game, and like I said, when you get into a situation where you're chasing points, it makes it a lot more difficult to kind of establish the run game and stick with the run game. So I did think there were some things we did well in the run game. Um, we knew it was going to be a tough matchup from a protection standpoint because I felt like they had some guys that could kind of get after the passer a little bit. And I think, we had some times where we didn't hold up as well in protection as we needed to, and then there were some times where we did a really good job in protection. So I thought overall was not a poor performance, and yet look, when you play a game like that, I don't think any of us did good enough.
Dennis,
for Michael Thomas, just how tough was that to see, given that he had stayed healthy most of this year? And
yeah, look, I think anytime a player suffers an injury, it's tough to see, because I know how much these guys put into it. I know how much hard work they put into it, and so again, like I said, we'll get a little bit more information as we go along. But look, he was awesome on the sideline. He was into the game. He was encouraging guys, and so that was good to see.
Dennis says another time you guys now going into a full bye. Last time it was a mini bye where you're coming off a frustrated performance and you have extra time to evaluate. I mean, do you consider anything like staff personnel changes or anything like that, or do you not anticipate that happening during this time?
No, I think we'll evaluate everything that we're doing, and we know we have to do better than what we've done. We've been way too inconsistent. We need a lot more inconsistency, but no, I don't anticipate any staff changes during the bye week.
And I think Tyrann Mathieu said something. I don't know if he was talking in general, if it's something you guys have done. He said when you guys have had the slow starts, one of the things you do is kind of simplify the volume of what you're doing so everyone can know exactly what they're doing. Is that something that you had tried in recent weeks or on defense?
Yeah, we've tried several things, and we haven't found the solution yet. So we're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep trying. I think always the best answer is try to do the things that you feel like you can execute at a high level. And there's times when we do it and we perform exceptionally well, but if we don't put our eyes in the right spot or work the proper technique and those types of things, then offense is exploited.
Hey, Dennis, if I could follow up on Mike's question. He asked about personnel. Obviously, the offensive line has been kind of moving parts. Would you envision any discussions about any personnel changes on the field to find more consistency at any position?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's been a little bit of a topic of discussion. I talked to the staff today that, look, we've got to evaluate everything that we're doing from top to bottom, and we've got to make sure that we're from a coaching standpoint doing the right things and coaching the right things, and B, are the players doing what we're coaching them to do, and so we've got to get those things more in tune, and certainly if they're not doing all the things that we're coaching them to do at the level that we need them to do it at, then yeah, we do have to consider some changes. But I think that's all stuff that we'll and look, that evaluation takes place throughout the season. That's not unique to a bye week.
Dennis, how do you coach energy and coming out, not coming out flat? Like, how does that get coached, and how does coaching play a part in that? When obviously people like to point and say the team looks flat, that's on coaching. How do you?
Yeah, well, look, I think anytime that you're not executing properly, I think a lot of times people, take that to be flat, no energy. Yeah, I don't know that I've necessarily felt that. Now there's a little bit of lull when you're not executing properly, and you're getting down in a game. It stings you a little bit, and it takes you a little bit to kind of get back to it. So I wouldn't say lack of energy. I'd say sometimes that gets misconstrued with lack of execution.
When we spoke with Alante earlier, he kind of talked about the opposite, too much energy. I think he said something like players being too hype at the beginning of games, things like that. Eye discipline being an issue. Is that something you observed as well?
Well, look, I certainly think eye discipline is a part of it. And guys have to be able to, kind of slow their heartbeat down and focus in on, what their job is and be able to execute. For whatever reason, we've been able to kind of come in at halftime and make a few adjustments. Not really schematically, just, hey, look, this is what's going on and this is what we need to do. And we've come out and played better in the second half. But certainly I got to do a better job of getting our guys, prepared and ready to go when the game starts, because it has not been good enough.
Hey, Dennis, how would you evaluate the run defense against conventional runs, not counting any of the quarterbacks took off so far?
You're talking about overall on the season?
Yeah, overall in the season. And even yesterday, I noticed outside of the scrambles, it was 81 yards on 25 carries.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't know what that comes out to. 81 yards on 25 carries is 3 something a carry, right? Something like that. I'm not great at math, but I would say overall run defense on traditional runs has been pretty solid. Our run defense, when you incorporate, the quarterback's feet, has not been what we need it to be, and so we got to continue to look at ways that we can keep quarterbacks from being able to run the ball on us. I thought we had, at times I thought we did a good job of keeping Dobbs in the pocket, and we had some opportunities to get him down, and we just weren't able to finish and get the quarterback on the ground. And so we'll keep looking at how we can be better at that.
Things that's been happening in the first half. It's been a lot of red zone trips, but also a lot of red zone touchdowns. I think 10 of 13 of the last 5 games. What has been going on in the red zone defensively that's just, you haven't been able to hold up there?
It's a combination of a lot of things. Untimely penalties. We had a illegal contact on Pete Warner in the game on a 2nd and 11, I think it was, and we had a -7 sack, and we got an illegal contact. So it gives them a new set of downs. I think anytime you're allowing teams to get a new set of downs down there in the red area, it becomes much more difficult. Look, the first drive of the game, we were the recipients of a holding call, which knocked them back, and we got the red zone stop, on the first drive of the game. So I think there's some inconsistencies in technique and execution. I think there's some, missed opportunities and being able to, whether it be third down there in the red area, missed sack opportunities down in the red area, chances for negative plays. I just think there's been a multitude of things that I think, we've got to do a better job of. And I think, look, quite honestly, I got to do a better job of, putting a plan together that our guys can go out and execute at a high level and, be able to both stop the run and the pass.
When you have a relatively high penalty game on defense, but also maybe on offense too, how much of that do you think is just symptomatic of maybe mistakes being made right before the penalties committed versus just the penalty was the mistake?
So I think penalties generally occur because of a lack of focus or a lack of technique. So the pre-snap penalties, like those have to get eliminated. We had, I think, 3 of those in the game. I know we had a couple of false starts in the game. I know we aligned offsides one time on a big explosive play. We jumped offsides defensively. Like those are things that we have to eliminate because we have total control over that. Some of the fouls that occur during a game or during the play are things that a lot of times happen. Not the actual foul happens because we didn't do something from a technique standpoint or a fundamental standpoint early on in the down that put us in a little bit of a chase position. So I think continuing to work on our fundamentals and technique are important, and we've got to get the cleaned up. The pre-snap penalties, I think, are what we really got to clean up.
Hey, Dennis, do you what's your mindset on the open date? I mean, what do you tell your players? I mean, do you want them just to completely get away and reset, or what kind of approach do you take to that?
Yeah, well, look, first and foremost, I told them, I want you to get away. I want you to get some rest. I want you to work on getting your bodies and your minds back, and get ready to make this stretch run. That's really what this is. That's what this is about. We did the same thing last year, and finished off winning 3 out of our last 4. And so we've got to kind of hit the reset button just a little bit and come back from the bye and be ready to go, for this stretch run.
Hey, Dennis, I know you addressed it yesterday. Obviously, you were asked about Jameis and Derek, and obviously said Derek's the starting quarterback. But when you have a backup who has been a starter, and a starter who has struggled to find consistency, is that something you have to navigate in the building? Because I think outside of the building, it's obviously a big talker in the TV world and the social media world.
Yeah, I don't pay any attention to what's being said in the outside world. We need to play better in a lot of different areas, but that's really not something that we're considering.
Did you ever get a good explanation on the Shaheed misalignment? I don't know if he was in front of the ball, but if he was, that would have been the second time that maybe that happened. The first time it didn't end up a penalty. It was some different player, but did you ever figure out what?
Yeah, he aligned. We're in a 2-minute offense. He's coming back to the line of scrimmage, getting set, and nobody can be in the neutral zone, and so he's got to make sure he checks A, the ball, all right, and B, with the official to make sure that the official gives him the thumbs up that he's good. All right, guys, thanks.
Thank you.